Hey all, Yeti here. We've officially closed down our booth and we've taken our seats to catch the final bits of SGDQ 2022. We're happy to announce that with this donation, we've hit $130,000 total raised for MSF. Every order from our official SGDQ collection contributes a portion of the purchase price to MSF. A special shout out to Bonnie Dimples, an attendee at the event. He gave us this amazing gift at our booth. It's a clam with human arms and legs, and it's playing a saxophone? Thanks. Anyways, let's hit that 3 million. Let's go Twitch chat. That being said, we are here raising money for Doctors Without Borders, or MSF. MSF is an international medical humanitarian aid organization providing life-saving medical humanitarian care in over 70 countries around the world. MSF is committed to independence, impartiality, and neutrality. These principles are what make it possible for MSF to respond rapidly to emergencies and provide life-saving medical care in situations where many other organizations can't or won't. 90% of MSF staff is national, meaning they live locally and they're from the country that they work in. And it's truly incredible. It does not take much to help out MSF. Just simply a $10 donation can purchase 45 emergency food rations for the use in a crisis or natural disaster, or even $25. A $25 donation can purchase Ebola protective gear packed with everything MSF teams on the front lines need. So that being said, every donation does indeed help. Make sure to get those in. All right, that being said, it is incredibly exciting here. I cannot believe we're already at 2,700,000 and almost the 50,000 mark, putting us only about $250,000 away from 3 million. Can we get there, audience? All right, but speaking of hype, we are going to go ahead and ship it over to Kata. Good luck, Kata, with Elden Ring All Remembrances.
Hello, everybody. My name is Catalystz. I'm the world record holder for this category. I feel like I need to say that so you guys know that I can play well sometimes. You're not going to see it tonight, but I'll try my best. With me, I have some wonderful commentators. First,
hey everyone, I'm Hypersomniac. I also run Elden Ring and DS3.
Fantastic. In the middle.
Hello, I am hazeblade. I also run Elden Ring as well as Resident Evil.
And last but not least.
Hey guys, I'm Spicee. I am also a fellow Elden Ring enjoyer and runner.
Awesome. Well, we also have a packed house here behind me. Guys, are you ready for some Elden Ring? Guys, if you're ready for some Elden Ring, give me a hell yeah. That's what I like to hear. Not putting any pressure on myself at all here. Okay, so I believe we had an incentive for the character name, so this would be the best time to know the result of that.
All right, let me go ahead and track that down. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it looks like for the character name, which raised $27,745.89 in total, the winning pick is going to be none other than Maidenless.
Oh.
All right.
Good choice.
Oh, well, guys, I don't know, because if you look like we do, I don't know if this is a guy who's going to end up being Maidenless. All right, that being said, I'm gonna choose a starting class, Astrologer. I can also choose a keepsake here at the beginning, which is like a gift, essentially, an extra starting item. I start with the Lance Between Rune. I'll talk a little bit about both those choices later as they become relevant in the run. And yeah, the time can basically start once I skip the first cutscene. Then we're gonna be greeted by amazingly optimized about 15-second black screen before the game can begin. And then we'll get right into it. So, cutscene's gonna start, and I'll skip it in 3, 2, 1, go!
Good luck, Kata.
Thank you. So immediately when the run starts, I'm gonna perform the first trick of the run already. And while picking up this finger in order to be able to open these doors, I was blocking. While I am blocking, the pickup animation, whenever I pick up an item, gets cancelled early and I can start sprinting earlier. Another thing you see me do immediately is jump to the left instead of taking the stairs. Elden Ring is cool in that it has a dedicated jump button over the Souls games. You're gonna see that used a lot. And we're gonna be approaching the first boss fight here. As you can see, he jumps over and there he is. And I'm gonna get stuck and nope, I refuse to fight this guy. So we die.
Great fight.
That was a good fight, yeah. So the first boss that you see in this game is kind of similar to something like Sekiro, where essentially, no matter if you defeat it or not, you're gonna end up being here in the Stranded Graveyard, and that's where the run, or I should say the game really begins. I received 2 items. I received the Flask of Crimson and Cerulean Tears. Those are the items that will be replenishing my resources, which you can see in the top left, health bar in the red, FP focus points or mana in the blue, and then the last thing that you see is stamina, which is green. Now, because today is leg day, I'm gonna do some squats here on the elevator while we're going up. And then I'm gonna make sure, again, to jump out of the elevator a little bit sooner and finally enter the overworld. The beautiful looking Limgrave. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna activate or light this first grace. Graces are essentially the equivalents of bonfires. They are sort of checkpoints at which you will respawn if you die, or you can also fast travel to them later. Right from there, I'm gonna head over to the next grace and basically be continuing to towards the first legacy dungeon. So the overworld of this game is essentially made up of big open-ended areas and also legacy dungeons, which are sort of like closed-off spaces with usually very important bosses at the end. What you saw me do there, whenever I'm gonna be, well, almost whenever I'm gonna be running uphill, I'll try to be jumping because that's slightly faster than running on flat ground. Another cool thing that you can see is while I'm sprinting, there are 3 ways to move in this game, or 3 speeds. Walking, jogging, and sprinting. I'm sprinting right now, but because I'm not in combat, you can see that the stamina bar is actually not depleting at all, which is really cool. For any action to be performed, at least 1 stamina point needs to be present. So, quick word about the category that we're running. We are running all remembrances. What that means? Essentially, this game has 15 remembrance bosses, which drop a remembrance item. They're kind of an equivalent of a boss soul, and you can think about this category as something like all major bosses, essentially. There will be some other boss fights as well, but we'll get to those later that are, necessary to be done in order to actually reach the remembrance bosses. So at this grace, I'm gonna rest, and well, we are maidenless no more, because here is Melina, and she offers us an Accord. An Accord is a pretty popular car here in the US, so I'm gonna accept, obviously. I'm told to treat it with respect, and here's my Accord. It's Torrent. It's probably like the most overpowered item in this entire run. And I'm gonna head over immediately up the hill here. The optimal way to move on Torrent is basically to keep on repeatedly spamming sprint with a little bit of a delay. But I'm also now in combat, so I need to take care that my stamina doesn't get depleted. On the way, I pick up the Golden Seed. The Golden Seeds will increase the amount of charges that I have on my healing items. That's gonna come in handy later. I'm gonna jump up here and I'm gonna pick another grace. So far we've seen 3, picked all 3. This one's gonna be important because not only will I come back here later, but I will also I will be using it to perform a very, very important glitch. Speaking of very important glitches, I'm gonna perform one of the bread and butter glitches in just a moment, called Pegasus. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna approach a ledge and then I'm gonna jump off the horse and quit out. I quit out basically when the game registers that I jumped off the horse, but before the horse is before the horse vanishes, right? It's gonna look kind of like this. This is called torrent storage, and I'll be doing that repeatedly through the run. Quitting out means essentially returning back to the menu. Now, what ends up happening is torrent is gonna spawn right next to me. Here, he is chilling. Next thing I'll do is I'll walk off this ledge, and now torrent, with the proper setup, is gonna spawn in front of me and fall off. So as you can see, treating him with respect is, yeah, it didn't last for too long. And he's gone. So now he's ripped. But what actually ends up happening is that I'm gonna run on this bridge, and oh no, there's a hole here. This is dangerous, guys. Oh wait, what's happening? Yeah, so you can see that Skyrim is the spiritual predecessor to Elden Ring in this regard. So what ends up happening is when I walk off a ledge under which there is a kill plane, and I throw Torrent through him, or through it rather, he is killed. But whenever any entity in this game is killed with a kill plane, its gravity is disabled, right? So imagine that an enemy falls into a kill plane, its gravity is gonna get disabled, but that's not problematic because the only way to respawn an enemy is to reload the entire area. However, Torrent can be respawned by simply using a flask charge. And that way, when I resurrect him and sit on him, I am now riding Torrent who has gravity disabled. So I take another grace here. I'll be coming back later, and I'm going to be heading to the Divine Tower of Liurnia here. Also, here's a balloon, and there are many ways to destroy a balloon, but... Oh, we missed. That's unfortunate. There we go, that's better. I think the balloon didn't really envision that a dude on a flying horse would be punching it down, so that's, yeah, pretty good. Now, when it comes to Pegasus, there are some important things, some important caveats. It's very easy to gain height because I can essentially just kind of slide onto any kind of a surface. But losing height is quite problematic. The only way I can really do it, almost the only way, is to jump. But if I do not land on flat ground, I'm gonna stay suspended in air, and I'm basically gonna be soft lock until I quit out, or if I, you know, warp to a previous grace. So I don't want to be doing that. However, it is important to reach flat ground, usually, because it is not possible to dismount Torrent when he's midair. I'm going to gain some extra height here, and as I was saying, I'm heading to the Divine Tower of Liurnia. This is because there's a remembrance boss in this game called Lich Dragon 40 Sacks, and the only way to reach him is to progress a quest line involving Rani the Witch, and there are a lot of steps to it. However, one of the items that is necessary to approach this boss is called the Curse Mark of Death. But this Curse Mark of Death, which is located in this Divine Tower of Liurnia, actually can be approached and picked up even without continuing the quest line if we get to the Divine Tower. And with a flying horse, that's, you know, kind of easy to do. So I'm gonna touch this pillar over here to be able to load the next area. And then making sure that I avoid any of these other pillars which would deload it, I'm gonna continue running in a straight line towards here. Now we can get one quick donation in, Muffin.
All right, sounds good. Well, we only have $44,000 left to go to be able to unlock that Elden Ring Pizza Swap Champions. And so the donation I have here to read is $100 from Slippery Anvil that says, "One extra large champion pizza, please."
Well, just gotta raise some more money for a good cause, and it'll be served fresh and hot. So this is what I was talking about when I said that it is pretty easy to be gaining height. I'm gonna be abusing these rocks here. Now here's one kind of a slippery moment. There we go. And I'm gonna make sure to get enough height to get on top of the bridge, but not too much height, because if I ended up being too high up, I would not be able to get on the flat ground. So there we go. Now we are at the Divine Tower. We're gonna open these massive stone doors with our bare hands, because obviously the Giga Chat that we are, that makes a lot of sense. Now, another great thing about Torrent, when his gravity is disabled, is that there are areas in this game where riding on the horse is impossible. However, if you have Pegasus activated, the game will not force you off the horse. So I'm gonna ride up this elevator. I'm gonna favorite the Stormhill Shack Grace so I can access it very easily later on. I'm gonna also pop the 2 runes that I got. So the one that I got from the balloon, that was 2k, and the item that I started with, the Lance Between Rune, which is 3k, and I'm gonna end up with 5,000 runes, as currency. You can see that on the bottom right. That currency allows me to level up my character, purchase items, and all that good stuff. So here's the curse mark. I'm gonna pick it up and immediately warp back to the last grace that we took. Going through loading screen disables Torrent, or I should say Pegasus. I'm gonna rest at the grace again. Melina is gonna come back, and she's gonna transport us to kind of like the central hub of this game, the Round Table Hold. So we talk to her, and in the Round Table Hold, I'll do 2 things, well, 3. First, I'll rest at the table there, which basically updates my grace. I'll level up 10 strength so I can use the shield that I'll be purchasing. Then I'll be purchasing a couple more items. I'll get to that later when it becomes a little bit more relevant. And then I'm gonna perform another bread and butter glitch of this game, and that is actually the wrong warp. So we get 2 points of strength. Then I'm gonna purchase the items, and I'm gonna use the item Memory of Grace to return to the last grace. It's kind of like a dark sign equivalent, essentially. So I get the shield, I get a scimitar, summoning bell, wolves, then I return. And at the same time, I open up the map and warp to a different grace than my last one. And what ends up happening is you see that I spawned somewhere completely else. This is because I just wrong warped. What ends up happening is 2 warps are activated at the same time, and the game has 2 variables to keep track of. The first one is the area that you need to get warped to. That one gets updated correctly, and I got warped back to Liurnia instead of just being warped back to the Round Table Hold. However, there is also a spawn point variable that the game needs to keep track of, and that's where the magic lies. The game doesn't actually know which spawn point of the area to use, so it simply defaults to the first one on the list. And the first one on the list is a little bit closer to this teleporter in Purified Ruins that takes me to the main gate here of the Raya Lucaria Academy, which is like the first legacy dungeon that we'll be visiting. And it needs to be opened first. So I take the grace so I can come back to it later, and now we're gonna go pick up the key to open the gate. If you didn't really understand fully how the wrong warp works, don't worry. We'll be doing it again, and I'll have another crack at explaining it a little bit better. While I'm heading to the Academy Glintstone Key, which is by a dragon called Smaragd, it's gonna be an epic boss fight coming up, maybe. I'm gonna do a little detour, and I'm gonna take the Temple Quarters grace here. Again, this is gonna come in handy much later in the run when I'll come back here. And then I'm gonna head over to the key, which is, not hidden too well. It's like right next to the entrance, basically. And as I said, there's a big dragon protecting it, which, he's kind of scary, but he doesn't do his job very well. So I can just run under him, yoink the key, and then quit out. When I quit out, the enemies actually get reset to their default state. And as such, I'm not gonna be in combat. And that allows me to open the map again and warp back to the grace that I took in front of the gate. So goodbye, dragon. It was nice meeting you. From here, I'm gonna enter the academy. And actually, I'm not gonna be fighting like the main boss here, Renala, yet. And that's why I'm gonna take the next grace as well, so I can come back here later. We'll be coming back here twice, actually. Now the goal is to get to the Volcano Manor. Volcano Manor is a legacy dungeon that's a little bit further in the game. But the reason we want to get there is because the main boss of the dungeon, Rykard, is basically a gimmick boss. So we can actually kill him even without any level ups. I'm gonna perform another torrent storage here, and we'll be flying very shortly. So I want to get to Rykard so I can kill him and then use the souls, or rather runes, which I'll get a lot of, to do my initial level ups for the weapon that I'll be using for this run. Another important thing that I kind of forgot to mention is that I'm playing on the patch 1.02, which is 3 patches down from the current patch. Current patch is 1.05. And this is to basically undo some balance changes that the developers have made, and also to have access to certain glitches. For example, Pegasus is patched in current patch. All right, so I'm gonna summon Torrent again, and we're gonna fly around the academy instead of going through it. And there's a water wheel that I can take down here, right? And in order to actually catch the first cycle, I'm gonna try to go as far to the right as possible of this area in order to load the area as late as possible and then be able to catch the cycle in the water wheel. So area loaded, I jump on flat ground so I can get off the horse. Get on the second water wheel. I'm gonna re-equip the shield for the better one because it has much better stats for blocking. And then I'm just gonna get abducted. So
Nice.
yeah, this is the second intentional death in this run. Now, this enemy is called the Virgin Abductor, but of course, such foolish tactics will not work on a GigaChat character such as the one that we have. So what ends up happening instead is we actually get transported to the Volcano Manor, to basically a place where like the broken abductors get discarded to. So from here, I can actually jump to the right and basically enter the Legacy Dungeon proper. And this is really good. This is a massive skip because we don't have to go through Altus Plateau and we don't have to go through Mount Gelmir whatsoever, which are two pretty big areas that you would have to navigate through in order to get here. While I'm here, I'm going to be picking up some items. I'm going to be picking up somber smithing stones, which are one type of an upgrade material in this game, of which there are two. Regular smithing stones and these somber smithing stones. The somber smithing stones are really good because you only need one per level, and the somber smithing stone upgradable weapons level to +10, while the normal smithing stones level to +25, and you need to use several of them in order to advance one level to basically get kind of equivalent power. Snake goes kind of crazy there. So I get the somber smithing stone 6. Here I'm gonna get somber smithing stone 5. And then I'm gonna progress towards the somber smithing stone 7 here through the Volcano Manor. So what you also saw me equip was a summon. So if you've not played this game and you've played maybe the previous Souls games, in this game you can actually summon some companions. Optimally, if the pizza swap incentive gets met, we'll only get to use it at the very end of the run, so I won't really talk about it that much yet. Here I'm gonna perform a small skip. Well, small skip. It looks small, but it's actually pretty massive. I'm gonna jump up here. There we go.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, that skip can be annoying.
That
Cool.
skip is really, really hard because you have to be very specifically positioned when you make that jump to get onto the ledge. If you miss it, it's only about 10 seconds, but it is still substantial when you're going for a PB.
Thank you very much for the praise. That feels pretty good. All right, so basically it's allowed me to just kind of, instead of running around the manor and taking a shortcut and just dropping down, it allowed me to get up there very, very, very easily. I picked up 2 items. I picked up the Smithing Stone level 7, and I picked up the Royal Knight's Resolve. That's an Ash of War, and we'll get to what it does later, but it's super important for this run. Now, because we got abducted and we got transported to a different area, we are in a trapped state, which means I need to rest at a grace. Now, in order to be able to warp. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna perform another wrong warp, but this time to the Stormhill Shack Grace that we took earlier. What you're gonna see is I'm gonna spawn out of bounds like this, and I'm gonna do another quit out. This is because the default position, or the first spawn point on the list, is actually out of bounds. When I load in the area, the game doesn't store any position that I have, right? Because I don't spawn on flat ground, I spawn mid-air. So upon the next quit out, what ends up happening is the game takes me to the last area where I had the stored position, which is the Volcano Manor, but again loses track of which spawn point to use, so it defaults to the first one on the list. This is huge because I'm combining 2 different types of wrong warping, and that allows me to wrong warp within areas that do not have a grace, right? I don't need to warp to a specific grace in order to wrong warp there. And that is crucial because there are only certain areas where the first spawn point on the list is beneficial. And there are also even less areas where you would have a grace to kind of, use to wrong warp to. So we're going to be using that a lot. From here, from the front of Volcano Manor, to which I had to wrong warp because it's actually locked off while I'm inside the manor, I set up another Pegasus, and I'm going to head to Rykard. As I said, that's the main Remembrance boss here in this Legacy dungeon. And the fight can be kind of rough because I only have the base vigor, which is not a lot. You can see my health bar is not very big, and we're kind of like in a, in an area that you're supposed to approach later, so a lot of things will kind of one-shot me. This Pegasus allows me to get all the way to the end of the Volcano Manor here to this teleporter, which kind of teleports me to the heart of the manor. And I'm gonna be taking this Grace just in case I die, which wouldn't even be that bad because then we would get to hear the legendary line by now, but we'll see if that happens. So I'll pick up the Serpent Hunter. The Serpent Hunter is the weapon that I'll be using for this fight. It's basically the gimmick weapon you're supposed to use. I'm going to be doing jump R2s, that's the highest DPS that I can do, followed by some L2s as well, which are the special attacks, which look like this, and they can stagger the snake. And they can be followed with an uppercut for a lot of damage. I'm going to follow up with a jump R2 again, and then see what the snake does. Here's a grab, I'll roll that to the left, punish with another jump R2. I'll try to go closer to bait a melee attack, then jump backwards to dodge it. I'll try to do it again. There we go. One more for a stagger. While he's staggered, I'm gonna do a jump R2, followed by another L2. That's gonna stagger him again and allow me to yet again do another jump R2. All right, another grab. We saw that before. Try to bait a melee attack. Perfect. Do it again. Okay, so phase 1 done. That was pretty smooth. Very nice. I'm gonna drink again so I can use L2.
It's almost like this weapon's made for this boss.
Second phase gets a lot trickier because there's something called the Inferno stage. Basically, certain combos that Rykard can do progress the Inferno stage, and then he kind of just starts sending skulls everywhere, and I have to like run around for over 30 seconds being unable to do anything. I opened up with an R2 and L2 because he did an attack that I can punish with an L2 on reaction. This is a jump attack, or rather, an attack that I can jump over. Here's a stab. I can punish that with another jump R2. This is already a very good start to the fight. Let's see what he does now. Quick stab, double roll. You can see that the sky got darker, or more red. This is because the first combo already progressed the Inferno phase. If he does another combo that progresses it, he's gonna activate it, but he's pretty low on HP now, so we should be maybe okay. Let's see what happens. Now that he's low HP, he can follow up with snake attacks, which he didn't do. Another quick stab. And he's gonna go for Inferno now. And during this, I can just spam R2s. One more. Okay, no Firestorm beneath me, and Rykard is dead.
Nice.
Very nice fight.
Very clean.
Cool. Well, you could say that we devoured the boss together. All right, that was good. I'm pretty happy about that fight. It got a little bit scary at the end because he started activating the Inferno phase and like Firestorm started coming from the ground, but fortunately we were not standing in one of them. So as you can see, we came back to the Academy now with 130,000 runes on our bank accounts, which is quite nice. I'm gonna set up Pegasus again, but this time I'm not gonna head towards the Academy, but instead head backwards. Again, me walking off the ledge like that sets up Torrent right next to me when I spawn, and he's gonna fall into the death plane, allow me to activate Pegasus. You can probably see that if I actually pan the camera. Let's see, yes. Boom.
Everyone
And
close your
down.
eyes.
Yeah, sorry. There's gonna be another heartbreaking moment later in the run, but yeah, just a little foreshadowing. All right, so from here, I'm gonna fly to the 4 belfries. This area is really good because first of all, wrong warping to the grace that's there allows me to get closer to Ichi, which is a blacksmith, located like down there in that direction. I'll have to visit him shortly. And also, it has several teleporters, which basically serve kind of as like self-closed spaces that can be viewed as like previews of another area or like of future areas that you're gonna get to. However, that can actually be abused quite heavily. But for now, what I'll do is I'll get this imbued key that will allow me to activate the portal later. And I'm gonna get to this grace. I'll do a small glitch here, where I basically make sure to activate the grace as I'm facing away from it. That makes my character spin first, and then during the animation I can actually open the map and warp. So I don't have to wait out the entire animation. It's just a small glitch, but it saves, you know, like about 2-3 seconds every time you do it. So now we've come back to the Stormhill Shack Grace, not to actually glitch out the game and do some wrong warps, but do a little detour to the War Master Shack here. Normally there's an NPC here called Bernal, and if you don't progress his questline, which we didn't do because it's slow and also useless, when Rykard dies, he dies as well, which is nice because his weapon will be very, very useful for a glitch later on, much later down the line in the run, but yeah, it's a groundbreaking skip, and it's absolutely worth it to take that small detour. I come back to the first step, Grace, that we took at the very beginning of the run, and I'm gonna head eastward in order to get transported to Caelid. Now, Caelid I need to visit because there's Radahn. I'm not gonna be fighting him yet, because first of all, I have nothing to fight him with, and second of all, even if I did, I would be quite weak. But I wanna get the Grace there. The way I will get transported to Caelid is actually this cursed chest. Normally in the network test, when I tried the network test, there was an item here. And in my casual playthrough, I just kinda strolled here. I wasn't even watching what the chest was doing. And I just got ensnared like this and transported. And it surprised me quite a bit. I'm sure some of you that have played the game maybe also were in for a surprise.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a common experience, getting teleported all the way over here.
I was actually waiting for the mimics from Dark Souls to make an appearance in this, and when I saw that, I was like, I wonder if this is what they're looking for with that, because it was definitely surprising.
Yeah, I know me and a lot of other people definitely attacked some chests.
Oh, yeah.
Just to check.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I mean, if you've played Dark Souls before, that's kind of a habit that you are basically grown to do. So we get transported. It's basically the same kind of principle as the Virgin Abducta that took us to the Volcano Manor. And from here, I'm gonna head towards the Celia Town. Now, Celia Town is basically the area right before the Church of the Plague, which has the grace that I want to take, to which I'm gonna get to later in order to fight Radahn. But Celia has a seal here that you need to open, but that's slow. So I'm gonna do some parkour here. I'll pick up the seed that's on the way. Again, this increases the amount of charges on my flasks. And let's see if I can get this. All right, cool. That was pretty smooth.
Very
Very nice. That's harder than it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some more mountain goating. If we cannot fly, we can jump at least. So instead of going around and navigating around the boulders there, I can just jump up this mountain. That's very cool. And this is the Church of the Plague. It doesn't look very nice, but I mean, I guess that's what you get with Church of the Plague. And here I'll also pick up a tear. Tears increase the potency of my flasks, so that means I'll get more HP recharged. And then I'm gonna rest at this grace. Enemies being very respectful there. And because I'll be wrong warping, I'm gonna go ahead and level some stats. So I make sure to get 24 faith. I make sure to get 20 intelligence. 1 second, I'm just gonna wrong warp to the full bear freeze here. And I make sure to get 20 intelligence, I make sure to get 24 faith, I make sure to get 12 strength, I make sure to get 16 minds, and then the rest goes into vigor. Vigor gives me extra HP. The faith and intelligence requirements are for the Sword of Night and Flame, which will be the main weapon used during this run. Also the laser sword, butt chest. And the 16 mind is important, so I can use the sword 5 times without having to drink. And then I wrong warp to the full bear freeze again. The reason I needed to spend my runes there is because the Memory of Grace item takes us to the last grace, but also just like Darksign from Dark Souls, it deprives us of all the runes that we have. So that's why I needed to level there. After that, I use the Remembrance item to get some more runes, 50k actually. And I'll be using that to... Okay, I messed up the Torrent storage shield. Let's do that again. I'll be using that to purchase the upgrade materials from Ichi and also to upgrade the weapon. It's gonna be coming up shortly. While I do that, I'm gonna set up Pegasus here because I'll be getting to the Carrier Manor to pick up the item, the Sword of Night and Flame. And I'll also be taking the Grace by Ichi because I'll be coming back to him later. While that's happening, I think this is a perfect time to read some donations, Muffin.
All right, well, we're getting a lot of love coming in from so many donors, and we are just about $31,000 away from being able to make that Pizza Swap the Champions incentive. So keep those donations coming in and make sure you put it towards that incentive. Yeah.
You don't want to miss that, and I don't want to miss that.
And for donations, we're starting off with a big one. We have $1,801 from the 5th mat.
Thank you so much, dude.
They say, I can't imagine a better game and better runners to close out this marathon for a really worthwhile humanitarian cause. With love from the modding community and former Speed Souls basement.
Yeah, thank you so much. The modders for these games, for all the From Software games, do an incredible amount of work. And not only do they create all kinds of randomizers that create incredible replayability for these games, they also make tools that allow us to make like high quality production videos and everything like that. So super, super thankful to all the modding people that are always keen to like help out whenever we reach out. Super great. All right, so here I jump into this secret room. I'm gonna also do a small glitch to open up the chest quicker and pick up the item. So that was the Sword of Night and Flame, and then I immediately warp back to the Round Table Hold because I'm gonna go to Hugh. Hugh is another blacksmith, and not only can he upgrade my weapon, but more importantly, he can apply the Royal Knight's Resolve Ash of War that we picked up in the Volcano Manor to the scimitar that I purchased earlier in the run. Right after that, I'm gonna go back to the Liurnia Highway South. And from here, I'm gonna use the remaining souls that I have for some bigger level ups for HP. And then, if you remember, I wrong warped to this bonfire or grace before, but I can also just run down here behind this rock and do another wrong warp, which will take me to a different place. This is because you can imagine the map basically be divided into different tiles, and each tile counts as a different area, and a different area is going to have a different set of spawn points. So if I just run down here and do the wrong warp, it's going to take me directly to the start of Liurnia, right behind the Stonewell Castle Legacy Dungeon. This is super useful because I can essentially just backtrack to the final boss of the dungeon, and I don't have to go through it at all, which is really, really nice. You also saw me equip a talisman. Talismans provide you with all kinds of different bonuses in this game. This one is picked up right next to the Curse Mark of Death that we got from the Divine Tower earlier. They're basically the same item, or I should say they are on the same corpse, so you pick them up at the same time. The talisman is good because it adds 5 levels of intelligence, which makes me not only feel smart, but most importantly, gets me to over 24, which is necessary to be able to use the Sword of Night and Flame. I set up another Pegasus. As you can see, this is indeed the glitch that is used a lot. It is mainly because Elden Ring is on such a scale that From Software, it doesn't compare to anything From Software have done before. So there is a lot of running around, and Pegasus helps with that a lot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get back here and get some height. And while I do that, I'm gonna talk about the Royal Knight's Resolve. So Royal Knight's Resolve is a skill you can apply to your weapon. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to boost the next attack by 80% until you attack with that weapon, right? Or it's actually supposed to last for like 9 seconds if you don't attack and then run out. However, if I use it on my left hand and then on two hand, it's also gonna transfer to my right hand. That being said, because I never attack with the weapon that I used the RKR on, it doesn't run out. So I get 80% damage boost for 9 seconds, and this is the result. I hit Godric so hard that his cape doesn't register it and stays suspended in the air. Another important thing I should probably talk about is why the heck was he not fighting back? Well, that's because I didn't enter the fight from the fog wall, and so his AI doesn't actually get loaded. And that way, I can go ahead and just simply kill him very easily without any kind of resistance. So now I want to get to, basically the goal right now is to upgrade my weapon as fast as possible. In order to do that, I need to get pretty far into the game, all the way to the consecrated snowfield. And that means I need to get to Lanedale. Now, Lanedale is the capital of these lands. And in order to get there, I am going to go to this area called Nokron. But this is just a preview area, right? Like, there's nothing here. However, because I can wrong warp in any area, I can simply perform a wrong warp and get to the legitimate part of Nokron that's not just a preview. And I'm going to spawn directly in front of the Mimic boss fight. This is insanely good, because normally in order to get to Nokron, you need to kill Radahn. But I'm pretty weak right now, and it would take quite a while. But this way, I can get to the Shifra River immediately and spawn in front of the best boss fight, the Mimic. So the Mimic, I mean, he's going to look pretty good, because he's gonna look like me, but he's also kind of paper thin because I just unequipped all my armor and I have a pretty strong weapon. So I'm gonna cast a flame and he's dead. Look what it says, great enemy felled. That was truly a difficult boss fight right there. So the Sword of Night and Flame that I'm using, it has 2 attacks. You have already seen both of them. The R1 is the main one, which is the beam that I used on Godric. It hits for more damage the closer I am to a target. And the second one is the Flame, which you saw here on the Mimic. It has a wider spread, so I can use it on enemies that would be dodging the beam. But yeah, the beam is going to be the main one. Now, from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a Remembrance boss that is located in this area. It's the Regal Ancestor Spirit. In order to wake him up and just to kill him immediately, sometimes I actually think that we're the bad guy in this game. I'm gonna light these 6 fires, and while I do that, I think it's time to plug some donations, because the pizza cutting incentive is sort of coming up soon, so.
All right, well, we still have $24,000 to go. Twitch chat, come on, send those donations in. But we do indeed have so many donations coming in for that. We have 25 from Stoots that says, I need to summon some friends to meet the pizza swap incentive. Hashtag let me dono here.
You hear that, guys? Let's go pizza.
Let's go, Twitch chat.
Come on, Twitch chat, we can do this.
All right, we also have $5 from Bistro Math that says $5 pizza cutter train activate. Shout out to the calzone with a screaming hot cheese inside. We also have a $1,500 donation from A&C that says dog.
We're about to find out if that dog is a good dog or a bad dog.
Yeah, watch out for those dogs, Kevin.
That dog was pretty bad, yeah.
And we also have a special $25 donation from Mama Souls that says, Kata, my heart is so full and I'm beyond proud to see you on this stage. I wish you all the luck in the world, but I know you will absolutely crush this run. Much love, Souls Mom.
Thank you so much, Mama. Much appreciate the kind words. All right, so I'll be approaching another boss fight here. Like I said, it's gonna be the Regal Ancestor Spirit, because I got hit by the rat, I'm gonna heal up. And this boss fight can be actually quite random. So we'll see what kind of a pattern we get. I'm gonna approach it, and I'm gonna activate RKR, again, Royal Knight's Resolve, to get the massive damage boost. And then I'm basically hoping for 2 of 3 attacks as an opener. And I got the worst one, because of course I did.
GDQ moment.
Boost mode.
This could be good, though. Let's see how much hard. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Nice.
That is a good dog right there.
That was a good boy.
Yeah, that fight
was
can go
good.
south really quickly.
Yeah, so fortunately, what the Ancestor Spirit can do very often in that situation is just teleport away, and during the teleport animation, you cannot actually kill it. And he's gonna teleport to the other side of the arena, and the fight can get really messy, but fortunately that didn't happen. And both the flame and the beam actually hit the head, which dealt extra damage. That's why you saw what you saw, and you saw destruction. From here, I'm gonna be heading to the next boss fight, but first I'm gonna set up another Pegasus. You remember earlier I told you that like in areas where you're not supposed to be on the horse, if you are on Pegasus, the game's not gonna force you off it. This is gonna come in super handy in here because the next the next boss fight, everyone hates this boss. When I dropped an F-bomb 3 years ago, I said I was European. That hasn't changed in the 3 years, okay, guys? Yeah, this boss fight is a real pain in the butt. And thanks to Torrent, I can actually try to use a strategy that might confuse it a lot. So let's hope that happens. It's a duo boss fight. It's Valiant Gargoyles. This is not a Remembrance boss, but I need to kill it in order to get to the Fias Chumps, which are coming up soon, so get the donos in for the pizza. I'm gonna run into the center here, very meticulously. I'm gonna get around these stalactites, and then I'm gonna touch the rock on the left. Now, the gargoyle hopefully will think that that's where I am and start walking towards it and try to target me there. I'm gonna get to the other rock here, apply the RKR, and while he's investigating like the Sherlock Holmes he is, oops, that's not good. I slid off the rock, I slid a little bit too far forwards. All right, let's roll the phase transition. Hopefully one more beam gets the job done.
Good
There we go.
recovery.
Nice.
Very nice.
Second gargoyle's gonna approach me now. Jump towards me, I can strafe that, do another beam. Okay, that kind of missed. I don't want to fight around this rock, there's not much space to move around.
These guys are insanely elusive too. It's very difficult sometimes to get a full damage beam out of the sword.
This should be a phase transition. I'm gonna apply RKR, do a beam, and if there's no dodge, which there is. Oh, okay,
Very
nice.
there we go. I told you, this boss fight is not good, but we made it work. We made it work. All right, so because great level design also needs some teleporters, and we've already seen one, I'm gonna get to the coffin here, and the coffin basically takes me to like another side of the river. We are underground, as I said. And because we didn't go through any loading screen, the fantastic thing is that Torrent still stays in his Pegasus mode, so I can just kind of fly to the next boss, which are the Fias champions. So yeah, what's the pizza swapping incentive at?
We are so close. We're just $17,000 away from getting that met.
Oh, that's a shame, but I have a proposal. Okay, we can keep the donation incentive going, and I can use it later on for someone else.
All right, sounds good. How does that sound to you out there in the audience?
Because the glitch is really cool. It's actually the fastest glitch that we have. Or I should say, it is the fastest way to complete this category. I'm not showing the route off because it turns every single boss fight into the same thing. And instead, I think this is a better showcase of the category. So yeah, let's keep that incentive open, and we can go ahead and try to use it on somebody else, because we can basically do it almost anywhere. I'm gonna rest at this Grace. This is to replenish my resources. And I'm gonna head over to the Fias Champs, which is basically a 3-wave boss fight. First, I get approached by one NPC, then I get approached by another NPC, and then I get approached by 3 NPCs at the same time. And it can get really messy, because humanoid enemies in any kind of From Software game, they're always really tough to deal with, because they'll be rolling around and stuff. And yeah, I prefer if I'm the only one that can roll. All right, finish that off. Good, that's a good start. I'm gonna summon the wolves, summon a companion. This is to split aggro. And I'm gonna wait for Rogier to spawn, which is the second wave. Apply RKR, try to hit him with the flame again once he gets rid of his invincibility frames. That didn't work this time. See, he rolls through it. I don't have stamina to roll, but I'm alive. So I'm gonna heal up. Let's try this again. Stop! He's destroying my wolves, that's not good. And he dodged again. Let's try that one more time. Okay, he actually got hit this time. That's at least something. Now he buffed his weapon, so I don't really want to jump into him. Good job, Wolf.
Not only do you have the highly unfortunate circumstance of them being able to roll, this is really the first part of the run where we see a prominence towards input reading, where it's insanely obvious that they're reading everything that Cat is putting through the controller right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So not having the wolves for the last wave is pretty bad, so I hope that I get some good connections here with the flame. Again, I'm gonna wait for them to spawn, attack, and hopefully... Okay, that's a good hit. The NPC on the right died completely. I cannot really do anything while these skulls are activated. I reapply RKR. Alright, there's more skulls from my boy Lionel. And more skulls by my boy Lionel. We're gonna run through them. And more skulls from my boy Lionel. The good thing is he's almost dead. I'm gonna reapply RKR. And more skulls from my boy Lionel. Okay, we'll just keep on running around.
He is spamming.
And this is what I hate, dude. Like,
This is a major reset point in all remembrances. When you get to this point in the run, it really is RNG. We have some strats that we can put in place, but unfortunately, when you get this kind of a setup, Cat is really just kind of fighting for his life here. That was a fantastic finish, though. Nice job.
Thank you. All right, that was tight.
We love Fias Champs.
Yeah, Fias Champs are pretty good.
Time for a quick donation?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, we have $10,000 from the Yeti.
Let's go.
Let's go.
They say, hey all, Yeti here. We've got another $10,000 to push even closer to 3 million. Now I'd love to say, let me solo her here, but we need everyone's help. So I am ringing my summoning bell. Can I summon a $5 donation train to push us to 3 million? Let's go, Twitch chat.
Hell yeah. So, you saw me immediately after killing Fias Champs. I took the Grace. This is because I'll be coming back there later. And now I take the teleporter to Lanedell. But instead of actually heading towards Lanedell, I'm gonna run back to the outskirts. This is because, as you can see, I cannot activate, in the bottom left, I cannot activate the horse yet. But now, in the outskirts, I can. Normally from Altus Plateau, you would enter from the fog wall right there. But yeah, thanks to the teleporter, we bypassed it. I'm gonna rest here, and I'm gonna spend all my resources again, because we will be wrong warping soon. I'll spend all of it on intelligence, get to 31. This is because the Sword of Night and Flame beam scales off of R1, off of intelligence, so we'll get more damage that way. And then I'm gonna set up Pegasus here again, off of this railing. And as I said, the main goal right now is to get to the consecrated snowfield, so that's what we're gonna do. Now, in order to get there, oh, I got Pegasus in one, nice. So I stored him in one quit out, and he also fell off to his death in one quit out, which is quite nice. So what I'm supposed to do here is normally you're supposed to kill Morgoth, which is the remembrance boss of this area, and then you kind of get locked into his area, or arena, and you're supposed to kind of find the impenetrable thorns leading to the Erdtree. And then Melina, the chick that gave us Torrent, basically tells you that, oh, you need to get to the mountaintops of giants, get to the forge, perform an event there. Here's a medallion that's gonna operate a, big-ass elevator. Well, I wanna skip that dialogue. It takes about 16 seconds, so I'm not gonna kill Morgoth yet, and I'm gonna head directly towards the elevator. However, I do not have the medallion, right? So I need to find a different way to actually get to the mountaintops of the giants. But don't worry, Miyazaki's got my back. Very convenient default position placement there. As I'm heading over this bottomless pit, I think it's time for a couple more donations.
All right, sounds good. Well, we have a $25 donation from Demon Fire that says, just putting this $25 in the swear jar for catalystz since he's busy right now.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
We also have $25 from Infinity X2K4 that says, good luck tonight, Kata. Reset City is cheering you on. Make sure you breathe while you give your commentary. Kata Jam.
Thank you so much, Infinity. Appreciate that.
We also have $25 from Captain Ezekiel that says, best of luck to one of the GOATs of Elden Ring. Kata is going to kill this run, and I'm super happy to have met him during this event. Also, surely Redon will behave, right?
Surely.
Right?
You say go to Elden Ring. I didn't know that Spicee was running tonight as well. All right, so we just passed another gargoyle, but I've had enough of them. I don't want to drop any more F-bombs, so I'm just going to get past it. And I'm going to go ahead and quit out on this elevator, which is going to, de-aggro the gargoyle. Now, you saw there, maybe briefly, that I'm now on the elevator. The game recognizes that. And I'm going to go ahead and perform a wrong warp. Okay, this one is pretty important to not mess up because I would have to run all the way back here. There's some specific timing of the warp, because if I do the warp too early, it's just gonna take me to where I choose to, to warp to. Like the map warp is gonna take priority over the memory of grace warp. And if I do it too late, I'm not gonna warp through the map, so I'll just return to my last grace. And yeah, with this wrong warp, we are now at the mountaintops of giants, which is quite nice. However, the problem is that the consecrated snowfield is an optional area, and you're supposed to get another medallion to activate it. And there's actually 2 pieces that you would have to collect. However, what I can do here is I can take this grace to come back later, jump down here. As you can see, death camera gets activated. But a death cam and a kill plane are 2 separate things, and usually they do not overlap. And the kill plane here is misplaced, so I can drop down on the lower platform there. The game recognizes me being in the consecrated snowfield, and when I go ahead and wrong warp, it's actually going to take me to the consecrated snowfield default position, which is going to be right after the elevator. And that way, I'm going to enter this massive snowy field, which I'm not a big fan of. I've also been told that this is what Canada looks like, but I've never been there, so I can't confirm. Right as I enter the snowfield, I'm going to head to the right. And this is the area where we're going to be picking up the remaining somber smithing stones, the level 8 and level 9. I use these walls to kind of navigate, because as you can see, I really cannot see, for the lack of a better term. All right, let's head over here. There will be a beetle here, like the previous smithing stones we just picked up from the floor. But there can be also these beetles that, either have them or like flask refills or something like that. No! Oh, he was out for blood.
They hit like trucks too. They do not mess around. This is considered an endgame area, and we are far from endgame level at this point. So Kata's got to be very careful.
That's right. And these electric guys are also pretty scary. Okay, easy.
Nice.
Yeah, you get 2 shot there, so it's good that we actually avoided that. Good stuff. What was that?
Somebody's very excited for that pizza incentive.
As they should be.
Yeah, and we're only $5,000 away from meeting that Twitch chat. Let's go!
Woo!
So,
Let's go.
Pizza.
So there in the snowfield, I took another grace because I'll be coming back there later, and I performed another wrong warp to get closer to the Mogwin Palace. Then this is like one of the few strats that I found. Because I'm good at failing, obviously I died here, and then I figured out, oh, it actually saves time, right? So that's pretty cool. So this is because in this game, there are also, besides graces that you can respawn at when you die, there are also stakes of Marika, and essentially they serve just as a checkpoint that you can decide to spawn at. And this one is closer to the destination that I need to go to. And on top of that, it prevents an invasion from an NPC. When you get invaded by an NPC, you cannot mount the horse. So this way, I can actually like get here faster because the invasion doesn't happen. However, speaking of invasions, here's the Sanguine Noble. Sanguine Noble needs to die in order for this teleporter to Mogwin Palace to activate. And killing Sanguine Noble, like you saw how terrible killing NPC enemies is at Fias Champions. Sanguine Noble is kind of similar in that regard, so I got a different strat. I'm gonna jump down on this ledge here. I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna block, and here's my boy coming in.
Nice.
And he's gone.
He almost had you too.
It's quite close. I actually have to block there, because like, if I don't, I might get hit midair and just die in one hit, so that would be not good. So now we entered Mogwin Palace. Mogwin Palace, you could think of it as a small legacy dungeon. And the good thing is that at the start of it, you can actually get on horse. So obviously I'm gonna go ahead and abuse that, because there's a kill plane right beneath here. Okay, this torrent setup is actually kind of precise, so I wanna pay a little bit more attention here. That should be good. Because sometimes, like, if you mess up these setups, what can end up happening is that you spawn on the edge, and basically it's Torrent performing Pegasus glitch with you, because you fall down, he stands on top, and you die. So that's not cool. From here, I'm gonna head over to Mog, and instead of going like through this big palace and getting elevation normally by using an elevator, I can abuse the geometry of this level. There's also a +10 smithing stone there, but taking it is pretty slow. So instead, I'm gonna get a specific armor set later on to kind of offset for that damage loss. That being said, having +10 and that armor set would be an overkill. I would basically save no time to it. So that's the strat we're gonna be going for.
I want to talk about this pizza incentive one more time, because even though we are just a few $1,000s away, you guys are about to get a big slice of cheese here real quick with Moog. Give this strat.
How long have you been preparing this one, dude?
Not long. It was off the cuff.
Oh, nice. So Mog is kind of like the annoying uncle that visits you at Thanksgiving that you kind of wish you could just mute. So that's exactly what we're going to do. He's kind of angry and gets in our face. So what I'm going to do is head away and just quit out. What ends up happening, you've seen this before. You've seen this before twice already. I'm going to spawn next to the fog gate and enter the fight not through the fog gate, but right next to it. And that allows me to bypass the AI trigger and just walk up to his face and do what I've wanted to do for a long time and just blast him with a beam. Now, because this is a pretty late game boss, it's actually going to take quite a while to kill. Hello, Mog. You can see his scarf is also not handling this too well. Reapply RKR, he gets staggered. Now the good thing is that he rewards you with a lot of runes, so we're gonna be getting a lot of levels from this guy. Yeah, I practiced pretty hard for that fight, guys. And now that I actually warped to the wrong place, I just realized that's completely fine. I'm gonna head over to Ichi, to the blacksmith. We took this grace earlier when getting the Sword of Night and Flame. I do that to upgrade my Sword of Night and Flame to +9, get more power, and we're gonna do the early game cleanup, or I shouldn't say early game, but like earlier game cleanup. Alright, while I'm here, I'm actually gonna purchase these smithing stones. And I'm gonna upgrade the Serpent Hunter to +4. That will be useful for pizza if it gets met. I probably also just lost a couple of levels by spending those runes there, but it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. So now I'm gonna head over to Renala. Like I said, that's the main boss of the Raya Lucaria Academy. We're gonna set up the third Pegasus of the run here, because it's much faster to run around the academy than having to run through it, and I'll get to keep Torrent. Renala is quite a tricky boss, actually. She has a sort of a scripted kill, if I perform it correctly. However, there's a small chance that she might start summoning, and then she kind of gets staggered during that animation. That's no bueno, so we hope that doesn't actually happen.
Time for a donation?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, we're just under $1,000 away from meeting the pizza incentive, and so
Let's go, we can do it for Renala.
here we have $5 from Anonymous that reads, just one more $5 hype train, everyone. Just $5. We are here together. We are here together for pizza. We are here for GDQ. And we are here for MSF. Let's crush that final incentive together.
All right, so this time I take the left side of the water wheel. I made sure to actually load the area as soon as possible so that the water wheel is as high as possible when I get on it. I'm gonna go ahead and equip the Astrologer Staff because I'll be using it in the fight. The first phase.
And the pizza swap incentive has been met.
Oh,
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
that is pretty awesome.
Oh, I love you, audience.
All right, let's use it for Renala, but actually I'm probably gonna have to head back to the last grace in order to redo some item ordering, because I'm not quite sure. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do pizza. Let's do pizza. I'll return to the last grace and let's
go.
Pizza. Let's do pizza. So I'm not gonna need the Astrologer Staff because yeah, pizza cutting is pretty good. So I need to go back to this grace. This is to reorder items. I need to make sure that the Sword of Night and Flame and the Serpent Hunter are next to each other. So I'm gonna put them in a bottomless box. Well, first I need to unequip the Sonaf. So let's do that. Then I'm gonna get to the bottomless box, which is kind of like your storage space. I'm gonna put these two items in there and then put them back in, and then I can order my items by order of acquisition. And that way, now they're gonna be next to each other. And that is really important because what pizza swapping essentially does is I'm gonna activate a stance on a weapon that has it, which is the Sword of Night and Flame, right? You can hold L2 continuously, be in a stance, and then you can like use the R1 and R2 spells. And then I'm gonna face away from an enemy. I'm gonna lock on, which is gonna give me like a little 180 turnaround animation. During that turnaround animation, I'm gonna do a very precise sequence of inputs. It's actually pretty difficult to do, so hopefully I get it. And what ends up happening is that stance will carry over to the Serpent Hunter, which we used for Rykard earlier. That means we'll be using a stance on a weapon that doesn't have it. And that kind of breaks the game, and you're gonna see what happens. It might actually be like even a better, kind of better showcase than Fias Champions, but I really wanted to do it for Fias because you saw how terrible that fight can be with Sword of Night and Flame, so you guys really let me drown in that one.
Hey, you pulled through. That was the important thing.
That's very true. All right, let's take this water wheel again, and let me reorder the items by order of acquisition. Now you can see Serpent Hunter and Sword of Night and Flame are next to each other. I'm also gonna unequip the Scimitar, and the first phase of the Renala fight essentially consists of her being suspended in the air and us being unable to hit her until we, you know, perform an Anakin Skywalker move from the third episode where, you know, some bad things happen. And then she ends up going to the ground, we can kill her and get to phase 2. And I'm gonna try to do pizza swap for both those phases. So this skip is actually kind of difficult, I just pulled it off twice in a row. You need like very specific height there. You need to delay the second jump on Torrents quite a bit in order to get enough height and be able to clip up on the stairs. Here's the Carrion Knight. He can be a pain in the butt. Let's try to keep him off my lawn. There we go.
Not today.
Not today. Well,
It's also the elevator, too.
He couldn't handle it and just dropped in the elevator.
Yeah, free shield, you know.
All right, let's do pizza, okay?
Let's go.
So I'm gonna enter the fight. I'm gonna look away from one of the children on the ground, and I'm gonna try to do the swap. Oh no, the shield! I dropped the shield! It's in the way.
Oh no.
We need to redo it. Because like that's the last item that I obtained, so it got in the way. Not like this. Carrion Knight always finds a way to get you. Always finds a way. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drop it. Where is this shield? Heck you, shield. Well, yeah, now I have it equipped. That's fantastic. So I need to unequip it first. Now I can go ahead and drop it. Where are you, shield? There you go. Get the hell out of here. And then now we can try to.
Oh,
You
man.
gotta be kidding me.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
Miyazaki's starting to pull the strings.
All right, let's see if I can actually do it, because now the setup's gonna be a little bit different. Now there are books coming my way, which are gonna interrupt it. There's a globe that wants to kill me, yeah. There's fire that wants to kill me. More books. And now it's locking onto the other enemies. No. No. I'm gonna find a way. Let's try it here. No, it interrupted. You see, I have the Serpent Hunter equipped. It actually worked, but I got interrupted immediately. Oh!
Oh, the chandelier.
The chandelier. Oh. The shield ruined everything. Well, this raised $100,000. Okay, so I'm gonna do it. There's no way.
Miyazaki, please. Twitch chat paid for this. Please let us showcase this glitch. It's amazing.
This is probably the toughest fight to pull this off on, too.
Yeah, there's just so many of those children just crawling around, throwing books and flame and levitating the objects around the room. It is chaos, and yeah, any damage there is gonna cause you to have to start over.
Yep. Now the important thing is that I need to actually pick up my runes, because if I lose these runes, we have a big problem. Like, this is the one thing that I'm afraid of, is losing runes, because then I'm not going to be able to get the proper levels, and that would be tough, because I could be missing out on damage. Missing out on health, I could kind of like deal with that a little bit, but there are some strats where, you know, sometimes I'm going to like trade with enemies, and having extra health for that is really good. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, as I make my way back, I'm gonna try to get the runes. I'm gonna try to do it in phase 1 again. And if I cannot get it in phase 1, I'm just gonna do it in phase 2. You're gonna get a good showcase of it anyway. And in phase 2, it's much easier because it's only Renala there. As I'm making my way back to the fights, I think it is time to read some donations.
Great, sounds good. Well, we are just about $160,000 away from unlocking that any percent run at the end of this one.
You don't want to miss out on that.
So starting us off, we have $50 from Klizix that says, some of these most incredible GDQ moments occur during these donation sprints near the end of the event. Donation trains for charity are truly wholesome and emotional moments. Let's do it, Twitch chat. Here together, let's get that 3 million. Let's go.
All right, we can get more.
All right, well, we have a $5 donation from a Cheese Man, continuing that $5 donation train, saying, choo-choo! And then we also have $10 from Hammy.P that says, I see your $5 train, and I raise you to a $10 train. Thank you so much.
You can get more.
All right, well, we have $50 from Distilla that says, it is incredibly satisfying to watch catalystz annihilating these bosses. Thanks so much for an entertaining run with masterful narration. Huge thanks to everyone at SGDQ. Always so happy to see an amazing community pull together.
I got my runes, that's good. Let's try it.
Chandelier's coming up.
Chandelier's coming up again. Oh, you're not wrong, dude. All right, let's get the hell out of
Close
here.
one.
Yeah, when you see those flames on the ground, that's how you know that they're starting to lower the chandelier. And you have a few seconds to get out of the way, but that pizza swap just takes just enough time that if it starts while you're in the middle of it, you kind of have to make a decision to either risk it or not. So.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna try to do it from a little bit more distance. Let's see if it works. Maybe I can actually. Never mind. Let's hide. Okay, that would have worked, but I messed up. There we go.
There it
Nice.
is. Let's go.
No! The book! Well, you saw for a brief moment what just happened there. Like, I destroyed almost everybody in 1 second. There we go.
Yes,
You
there we
ordered
go.
66.
Pizza swapping distraction. No, 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 no. Knowledge is outplaying me. I'm not gonna let that pass. That's what you get, knowledge. Where's the last one? All the way there.
Oh, she might try to get you with the books.
I'm gonna go behind the wall. Pizza. Oh, okay, good. I think we.
Oh,
did
yeah, I
get
think
it.
you got her. No?
Not quite.
Almost there. There we go. Now Renalla's gonna go down, finally. And we're gonna pizza swap her to death in phase 1.
There we go. That's it. So the pizza cutter actually has a really strange
Hold
cone.
on 1 second.
Sure.
She opens with a pretty familiar attack, but we have pizza, so it's much better.
Indeed. So that pizza cutter has a very upward angling cone shape. So you do have to kind of look in a certain direction downwards in order to line it up to anything directly in front of you. But we know Kat has got the strats and everything to make sure that knowledge is defeated with pizza.
That's what I like to hear. Oh, okay, so I'm actually missing out on just 1 level from the upgrades that I spent on the Serpent Hunter, so that's no big deal at all. I'm gonna explain how pizza works. Just right now, there's gonna be another skip here. I'm gonna jump down and avoid all the kill boxes here and jump into Radan's arena. And as you can see in the icon top left, there's the stake of Marika. So I dropped into a range of one of these stakes, and I'm gonna spawn basically right next to the arena. That completely skips his legacy dungeon and having to go through the festival. However, activating the festival is also important because it's gonna allow me to, do something not very nice to someone that you guys might like, but we'll get to that in just a second. Radan can be quite random. I'm gonna try to approach him on the horse. The first thing I do is I try to hide behind this item so that the initial orb hits the item and I don't actually have to dodge. Plop. There we go. Then I'm gonna abuse the iframes that I get from mounting torrents, like that. And I'm getting bad RNG, because of course, there's another orb. There's a shotgun overhead now, maybe, yeah. Another shotgun, okay, let's try to approach him now. Never mind, he went into melee. This could be kind of messy. I'm getting wrecked by the overhead as well. Let me heal up. Alright, he's buffing. That was close,
Nice.
but he's
Nice
dead.
recovery on that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So that was a really messy fight. 9 out of 10 times, he's gonna have a set pattern at the beginning that allows me to basically get rid of him quite easily. And now everybody here in attendance that has the attendee badge and likes it, or everyone that's a Podboy fan, please look away.
Chat, close your eyes.
I regret this, but it needs to be done.
Oh.
Crowd favorite, I know, but hey, it's Miyazaki that gave him a really good item, okay? It's not my fault. So he drops a talisman, which is the Warrior Jar Shard. Essentially, the Warrior Jar Shard gives you 10% bonus to weapon arts, to weapon skills, which also applies to the Sword of Nine in Flame. So it is a huge damage boost. From here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually approach the Forge now, because basically, there are only a couple of things left that I could do before approaching some of the late game stuff. And killing Morgoth would be one of them, but as I said, I want to get to the Forge to skip the Melina dialogue. So this is what I'm going to do now. We're going to head over to the Fire Giants, but I'm also going to set up Pegasus here first. Now, this is because the mountaintops of the Giants is a pretty big area, but what it does is it basically forces you to go from point A to point B, and then from point B back to point A, but with different elevation. However, because we can fly, there are items, or I should say objects here that I can use to gain enough height. The problem is that because the area above me is approachable. It's where you're supposed to be later on. There are death planes all over the place because you can fall from there, so the player needs to be killed. So the skip that I'm going to be doing here is actually extremely precise, and I'm literally on the verge of death almost all the time. So hopefully I can pull it off. Okay, 1 inch higher, I would have been dead, so that's good. Now this jump on the next branch is really important because I'm jumping over a death plane, and if I don't get this jump, I'm going to just die instantly. So I'm going to line myself up. 1 more step. Okay, good first part, good first part. Second part, get on this branch. Okay, and then get some height here, good. And now to actually avoid the death plane, I need to take some specific pathing, get height here, and that's the skip done. So that's good.
This skip is so much harder than it looks. Kata just made that look like the easiest thing ever, but it takes a lot of work to get that skip down. Great job, Kata.
Thank you. Speaking of the mortars, some of the community members have created tools that allow us to like see these death planes. So yeah, that would be one that you would really want to check out because like check out the skip when the kill boxes are displayed because we are literally just dancing on the verge of death there. But fortunately it all worked out, so that's good. I'm going to be approaching Fire Giant. I'll go to the left side here and take a Grace just in case something goes wrong. Fire Giant, I again have a set strategy for it, kind of like for a down, but there's a small chance it might just not give me the pattern that I'm looking for. So in case that happens, I want to have this Grace. Before I get to Fire Giant, we have time for some quick donations.
All right, well, we are just about $147,000 away from hitting 3 million. We're getting so close, Twitch chat. Let's go. And to help kickstart our way up there, we have a $10,000 donation from Fangamer.
Oh.
Fangamer says, hey everybody, Fangamer here. This week has felt like a speed run. It's gone by so quickly that we can't believe it's almost over. We're honored to have been part of SGDQ 2022. Thank you to the runners, commentators, GDQ staff, volunteers, MSF, sponsors, and everyone who has sent in a donation or purchased an item with a charity incentive. We'd like to give a special shout out to the in-person audience for bringing back the energy we've all been missing. Can we get some audience hype? Let's keep that energy going and the donations coming as the total races towards that 3 million and beyond.
All right, so that was phase 1 of Fire Giant. You saw me abuse the iframes from Torrent again. And then he basically has like a weak spot on his leg. But the problem is that as you... Okay, that's not good. Interesting. All right, there we go.
Very nice.
Good recovery. So essentially he has a weak spot on his leg, and the important thing that I needed to do there is to ensure that he would stagger in such a way that he would like stagger into the beam, so I kept on continuously dealing damage. That's why I baited that specific attack in first phase. And then for some reason he didn't stagger in second phase. That means that I probably attacked slightly too late, so his poise actually dropped. Poise being kind of like hidden damage that you're dealing to an enemy, and once you reach a certain threshold, they're gonna, you know, their stance is gonna break and they're gonna be staggered. So here's the forge. I can just fly over it because through all this time I still have Pegasus activated because we didn't go through a single loading screen, which is really nice. And yeah, the second phase can get really messy because Fire Giant can start doing all kinds of like fiery stuff and it hits really hard. As was pointed out earlier, we do not have too much health yet, so pretty much anything is gonna one-shot us. Also, if you're wondering, the armor, I forgot to mention that I'm wearing is Bernal's armor. It's the it's from the NPC that I picked up the Devour Scepter from earlier for that one glitch. And because I cannot actually do that glitch yet, I'm still missing one item, or I cannot do that skip yet because I'm missing one item. I'm not gonna be progressing too much further to here through Fire Missoula. We go to the forge. Melina basically offers herself as a sacrifice to burn the thorns on the Earth Tree. And there's a boss fight here that I can skip, but like I said, I cannot do it yet. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna progress to the first grace here. Well, not first grace, but to the furthest grace that I can get to. And just like before in Caelid and in the Volcano Manor, I'm in a trapped state, so I need to go ahead and rest at a grace. So I'll be running through here, and there's gonna be a quit out I'll do here to reset an enemy. He's kind of a pain in the butt. So hopefully I don't get to deal with him too much. Then one little thing that I'll be doing, or rather two little things in terms of movements that I would like to explain. The first one is when I'm gonna be jumping off a platform, I'm gonna do a jump attack. This is because not only can the recovery animation from the jump attack be a little bit faster in certain scenarios than a regular drop. Well, like right there, it was instant. And also, if I'm in combat, dropping down, even like a couple meters, is gonna drain so much of my stamina. However, if I attack midair, what ends up happening is only the stamina for the jump attack gets drained, which is very little in comparison. And upon landing, because I don't get the regular stagger, I also keep the stamina. Another little thing that you see me do here, when I'm in combat and I want to replenish stamina, you see me crouch, right? This is another addition, kind of taken over from Sekiro, where you can crouch in this game by pressing L3. And it is faster than just letting go of sprint for a bit and recovering stamina that way. This way I can keep up higher speed and recover stamina at the same time. All right, let's get through this church. It can sometimes be a little bit dangerous, not this time, so that's good. I'm gonna jump over this railing. And here you're gonna get to see me jump. I'm gonna do a jump attack, drains a little bit of stamina, but no stamina drain on the landing. That's what I was talking about. Then as I approach the next grace, I'm gonna make sure to sit on the further side of it, because this dragon up here can kind of stay aggroed and like, yeah, basically keep me in combat so I couldn't warp away, which wouldn't be good. Then another thing that happens with the forge being activated is that a quest line in the Round Table Holds of Rogier, an NPC, gets progressed and he basically ends up dying. And that's good, because he drops a set, the armor set that I was talking about. Each piece of that armor set boosts my sorceries by 2%. So 4 pieces, that's overall 8%. I got hit by enough books on the Renala fight that I do have the knowledge to do that quick math there. So I'm gonna talk to Rogier, and then I'm gonna have to perform several quit-outs to progress the quest line, because this is peak level gameplay. As that's happening, I think we can go ahead and read a couple of donations.
All right, sounds great. Well, we have $5 from Yvonne that says, first time donating for MSF at SGDQ, but I couldn't resist the $5 hype train. 3 million, let's go.
Let's get the 3 million, guys.
We also have $50 from Gideon Offnear that says, a tarnished can never be an Elden Lord, unless you donate $5. And Hypersomniac, you're currently on the couch, so how are you feeling? Wouldn't you like to be able to showcase off that any % run for everybody at home?
Absolutely, it is a fun run. There are some tricks in there that you will not get to see in All Remembrances, so definitely look forward to that if we hit the 3 million.
Yeah, for sure. Hyper has been practicing hard, preparing hard, so it would be a shame if he didn't get to show off his hard work. You cannot do that to him. He's such a nice-looking guy, so...
Aw.
Yeah,
You're
let's
making me
go,
blush.
Twitch chat.
Let's get it.
Yeah, get those donations in. It'll be worth it.
All right, so now that I have activated the Forge, I can finally come back to Morgoth and go ahead and get rid of him. Now, if you're a Morgoth fan, you're probably going to be even more disappointed than all the Mog fans when I fought him with no AI, because essentially you're not even going to get to see the boss, which is, yeah, quite rough for all the Morgoth fans. So what I'm going to do, again, I set up Pegasus in a familiar place, but what ends up happening, instead of going to the left, to the elevator there, I go to the right. I'm gonna drop on a ledge here to lose some height and also to load Leyndell properly, because right now only the outskirts are loaded. Blop, there we go. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a place where there's no kill boxes beneath, and I'm gonna go ahead and store my position next to it. Now, you know that I cannot lose Torrent if I have Pegasus, but actually I do want it to happen this time, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a quit out. And because I quit out, I'm gonna lose Torrent, I'm gonna lose Pegasus. And because I'll be standing inside of a legacy dungeon, the game's gonna force me off of him. Unless, what I do here is I do a precise setup where I store my last position on flat ground right next to this wall. I quit out, I'm gonna perform a jump forwards, I'm gonna touch the pillar, and then immediately pivot to the left. What ends up happening is Leyndell loads, but I'm not gonna land on any flat ground. Like this. So now I'm falling, right? Leyndell is loaded, and I'm falling. And I'm falling through rocks, and I'm falling through the 7 seas, as you're gonna see in a bit. And I'm gonna keep on falling. Now, normally, as in most games, there's a 12-second timer that's supposed to kill you. If you fall for 12 seconds, the player dies. Oh, here are the seas. Very nice. And beneath them is the void, which, yeah, there you go. Normally, there's a 12-second timer that's supposed to kill you. But if you attack, that timer gets reset. If you're falling normally without torrent, you can only attack in the air once. So you can reset your timer once for up to 24 seconds. That's not a lot. However, if I'm sitting on torrent, you can see that I can keep on falling and keep on repeatedly attacking, repeatedly resetting the timer, all the way until I fall so far down that the area of Lindale deloads. And you know who doesn't have torrents? Morgoth. So he cannot attack the same way that I do. He cannot reset his full timer. And what you're gonna end up seeing, or well, mainly hearing, is Morgoth's demise by me falling under the map. So here's the beetle that's located in the area. And listen. And that's Morgoth.
There it is. Great fight.
Now, I would have loved to actually show you him dying, but because the game still locks you out of warping, I need to make sure that I warp exactly as he dies. Otherwise, I'll be basically kind of soft locked there. There's like a way to get out of it, but I would have lost my runes, which is not good. Now I'm gonna approach 40 sacks. If you remember, at the very beginning of the fight, Huggers, by the way, at the very beginning of the fight, we got the curse mark of death, right? That took quite a while. This hugging also takes quite a while, so we spent a lot of time trying to get to the Lich Dragon 40 sacks. And you're gonna see that the fight, well, you're gonna see what the fight is. But before we get there, I need to do some more hugging in order to get to this fight. And while I'm hugging Fia, some more donations can be read.
All right, sounds good. Well, we have a $50 donation from Jeff N that says, I'm donating in Alexander's memory.
Rip.
We also have $5 from Reset Ramaroni that says, every $5 donation pours one out for our boy Alexander, the pot man. We also have $12 from Ashwin that says, Takata, the showstopper, thank you for being one of the lifeblood of the Spee Souls that keeps the community alive, fun, and constantly challenging us to be better. And for being genuinely a really good and awesome dude. We love you.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Appreciate it. All right, so I just talked to Fia a lot. I quit out to progress the quest line, talked to her some more, and now I can enter the fights. Now, we are kind of powerful because I have just equipped the Rogier set. I have also equipped the other talisman, so I have some extra intelligent levels. And if I do this correctly, which I hope I will, a boss fight that I just spent like 5 minutes setting up overall is gonna go by kind of quick. I'm gonna apply RKR from a specific place. I'm gonna aim for his leg, hitting his head, and he's gone. So that is actually kind of precise because I want the entirety of the beam, which is a continuous attack, to hit his head, which, you know, deals extra damage. And we managed to pull it off, so that's very, very good. So now I'm gonna head over to Astel. And that means I need to go back to the Temple Quarter, which is a grace that we picked up all the way at the beginning of the run, like 6 minutes in or so. And I'm gonna spend my runes here because I will be wrong warping again. So I need to make sure to get 52 intelligence. This is for a breakpoint on a boss later on. And yeah, overall I'm missing... well, actually, I can go ahead and pop this Remembrance, which gives me 30k, which I just got from 40 sacks. And I can get the same levels that I would get. Perfect. So I have 34 vigor, as you can see. I have a bit more comfortable health bar right now. But don't worry, we're gonna be getting to like late game areas where the bosses hit like a truck anyway. So it's gonna help, but yeah, it's not as comforting as it actually looks like. From here, I'm gonna head over down south. And this is actually because getting to Astel, normally, what you need to do is you need to go underground. You need to go underground, and there's a lot of running involved. However, after killing Astel, there's an area, Moonlight Altar, that's up there. And there's a big elevator that leads there. However, I can actually abuse that. I can abuse the elevator shaft, and you're gonna see how. First, I'm gonna get this grace here. This will become useful later if one of the endings gets chosen. That's another bit war that we actually have going for this run. It's 3 different endings, Rani's, Fia's, and the Frenzied Flame ending, so you can get your donations in for that. And I'm gonna head over to the cliff here. And by the cliff, I'm gonna go ahead and set up another Pegasus. And then I'm gonna head over out of bounds inside of the mountain, close to the Lake of Rots, where Astel is actually located. While I'm doing that, while I'm setting up Pegasus, while I'm gonna be running there, we have time for more donations.
All right, excellent. A little bit of an update on that bid war. It's pretty fascinating. Ronnie's Ending is in the lead with $14,081, but Frenzied Flame Ending is actually only $700 behind that. So if you would like to see a swap on the lead for that donation incentive, we're only $700 away for that. But for some donations, we can kick it off with an anonymous $200 donation that says, bonus any % Elden Ring run equals more GDQ. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's keep this thing going.
And we're so close. We're only $141,000 away from being able to unlock that any %. Let's go, Twitch chat.
I mean, worst case scenario, I'm just gonna die a couple more times and we'll get plenty of time to get the donations in. All right, so I had to redo Pegasus here because the first time Torrent actually didn't drop into a kill plane, but that's not a big deal. So now I run inside of the mountain, as I said. I'm gonna re-equip the Rogier set. The reason I got rid of it is because over the big hat and over the cloak, or cape, I should say, I cannot really see where I'm setting up Pegasus, so that's why I unequipped it. And I'm gonna run in a very specific place, and I'm gonna touch a rock there, which is gonna load the area underneath us. Like, you can see that there's like some stuff to the left, that's still the Urnia, and there's stuff underneath us which isn't loaded yet, but it will be loaded very shortly. Then I'm gonna get on the elevator shaft, the game's gonna think that I'm inside of the Lake of Rot, and I'm gonna go ahead and perform a wrong warp. This one's pretty important to hit again because I would have to run all the way back. So there you see the elevator shaft loading in. I'm gonna run to the middle. Now the game thinks I'm in Lake of Rots. All right, hopefully that's fine. We go back again to the Stormhill Shack. And I messed it up. Well, I told you we would have more time for donations.
All right, excellent. And I see a pretty interesting thing brewing in Twitch chat. Looks like we're having a little bit of a challenge for you folks at home. Starting at the 1:30-minute mark, we are going to start a $5 hype train. Doesn't that sound like a great idea, audience?
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's do it. So we have $25 from Kiwi that says, had to donate during your run, Kata, reset city hype.
Thank you so much.
We also have $5 from Mr. Epnor that says, one last push, one last effort, one last $5 train. Let's go, dude.
Let's go, dude, indeed.
All right, we also have $300 from Argo that says, let's give Ronnie what she wants. Some pizza. Wait.
I don't know if that would work out.
Time for some more?
Of course, let's go.
All right, well, we have a lot of donations coming in. We also have $250 from Blorgog that says, give me pizza.
Well, you got it.
We also have $25 from M Sushi 219 that says, another SGDQ is winding down, but it's not over yet. Let's hit that 3 million mark so Sumichi can become the true Elden Lord.
All right, let's go for two more.
All right, sounds good. We have $15 from Roads Go Ever On that says, I hear a $5 hype train, but not all of us have the ability to join in on the fun. Here's a little extra for those who want to join but can't. Just another way for all of us to be here together, Heart.
My last.
All right, we have $100 from Doe Wolf that says, you get a hug, and you get a hug. And Dragon gets a laser beam.
All right, so again, I'm gonna touch this rock, load the elevator shaft, and hopefully I hit the wrong orb this time. Okay, I got it this time, can tell. In before I spawn at the Stormhill Shack again. Nah, we're good, okay, nice. So now, the default position is actually at the bottom of the elevator. And not just that, it's on the correct side. So I'm gonna spawn like right in front of Astel. Now Astel, he's a pain in the butt as well. The RNG on this boss is quite brutal. If everything goes well, I can get rid of him very quickly and very easily. If it doesn't, he's gonna start teleporting around and throwing meteors at me and whatnot. So let's see what happens. He's gonna hopefully open with a beam that I'm gonna roll. Or not, okay, that's pretty rare. So he's gonna open with a beam, super delayed. Interesting. What's happening? That's actually a good attack because I can get up close and personal and beam him in the face. And it's gonna hit me. Never mind.
Nice.
Okay.
Really clean.
Doesn't get much better than that.
He was a sleepy boy, but that worked out very well.
Really good, yeah. So that looked like super free. It's like, Kara, what the heck are you talking about? Difficult random boss. Well, it was very close to me getting hit there and my R1 actually being interrupted. And then we probably would have seen him teleport away and all the chaos that I talked about would have started. So now that I've killed Astel, I've basically killed all the bosses from outside of the late game areas. So we're gonna go ahead and head towards the late game areas indeed. First is gonna be the Halleck tree, which not only has some difficult skips, but also, like I said, some difficult boss fights. The first skip that I'll be doing is the Ordina town skip. The liturgical town of Ordina has an Everjail, kind of an event that you're supposed to enter, like kind of a dream. And you're supposed to light these fires, but that's slow. So we're not gonna do that. And instead I'm gonna run over to the side and I'm gonna abuse some of the geometry, which was actually removed in later patches. Funnily enough, From Software thought this was absolutely game-breaking. Or maybe they just want everyone to do their amazing Everjail. And I'm gonna scale up this rock and run up. 1, 2, 1, 2. Perfect.
Nice.
Very nice.
Oh, almost actually fell off there. That was kind of close.
That was close.
All right. The Everjail is super annoying because there's like invisible enemies grabbing you all the time out of nowhere, kind of like Randy Orton. And there's also archers. Thank you for appreciating that one. There's also like archers that hit really hard and shoot really fast, so it's nice that we are able to skip it. There's a skip for current patch as well, but it's like way more difficult, so I didn't go for it here. I'm gonna jump to the branch here, try to navigate around these bubbles, which also hit like a truck. And it seems like we're good through the first part. We're gonna make it down the Halleck tree. There are ants here, but going from this direction ensures that they're on a cycle where they're not gonna approach me. As you can see, they're piecing out. There's another sniper right up there. You can see the giant Oracle Envoy who's gonna be shooting some bubbles at me. The best way to actually dodge them is just to quit outs. So that's what I'm gonna do. After some quit outs, which is what that is interesting and something we do not actually understand fully yet, is after some quit outs you do not get a stand-up animation. So it means that the quit out basically loses almost no time. Because the regular times on the leaderboard are actually timed by in-game time, which cuts out load times to make it as fair as possible, because they can vary depending on the machine. So down here, I'm gonna be performing a pretty difficult skip down the Halleck tree. I'm gonna light this grace and I'm gonna go ahead and bait an enemy. And instead of going through the area, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go backwards where there's a shortcut, so there's a drop that I can do. I'm gonna try to bait an attack. No, that's not the one. I need a roll. That's not a roll. I need to bait an attack so it goes on cooldown and it cannot do it. There we go. I'm gonna bait the enemy towards the edge. I'm gonna do a guard counter and I'm gonna fall. That's pretty unlucky. So I need to quit out and try to do it again. And relying on enemy AI for like any kind of a skip is always, it's always unreliable. Let's just put it that way. So let me go back. Let me rebait the enemy again. The skip is worth it. It looks pretty good. And again, I'm baiting out this roll attack because that's like one of the attacks that this skip is not really going to work with. And then I try to block whatever attack the enemy does and do a guard counter, which is basically pressing an R2 immediately after blocking. Hopefully break his stance. Like this, go to the side, riposte, and then we start falling.
Nice.
And we survive.
That is so annoying to get sometimes.
It is arguably the hardest skip in the game in terms of just being able to execute that with the randomness of that enemy. A lot can go wrong, and it ends up just not saving time if you mess it up too many times.
All right, so full Loretta, I'm gonna approach her, apply RKR, try to go to the side. She has a guaranteed opener. I'm gonna time my beam to hit her fully. I'm gonna try to straight the follow-up. It's an arrow attack. That's really good because I can get another beam. Get her low enough that she starts buffing, reapply RKR. She applies phalanx, but it's too late.
Very nice.
Good fight.
That's good. That's good. So the skip that I did, the reason we can survive is because during the riposte, which means just attacking the enemy while its stance is broken, you have iframes. You cannot get hit by like any other enemies or anything like that. And as I'm falling down, the iframes are activated in the moment where I touch the ground, so no full damage is dealt to me. Visions of Snake here, as I'm taking this Bloodborne tier ladder. And I'm going to be approaching the next grace. I'll be taking the next grace because I need to return to it. And while I'm doing that, we can read a donation or two.
All right, well, this hype train is going so hard. We are now just about $124,000 away from hitting that 3 mil mark. Keep it up, Twitch chat. Let's go.
You guys better keep it up. If you want to see more GDQ.
Keep going. We're in the end game, guys.
All right, we have $50 from John that says, here's $5 for me and $45 for 9 people who can't donate tonight. I got you.
All right, so I take this grace. You can see that the Scarlet Road Knight is trying to get me. I mean, given the way our character looks, I'm not really surprised, but I don't want to deal with her right now. So normally through the Helix Tree, you're supposed to run around in order to get all the way to the bottom. However, there's a pretty cool skip that I'm going to do here. I'm going to approach the elevator, I'm going to crouch, and I'm going to get the 4th intended death. I fall down, but my character, given the Giga Chat he is, he weighs enough to drop on the elevator and activate it. This is normally a shortcut that you're supposed to only activate from the bottom, like the lever next to it doesn't work. But through the way of our muscles, we were able to get the job done. And now I can just run back, because I took the grace, and get down the elevator. I'm gonna repick my souls, or runes I should say. It's souls to me, damn it. And I'm gonna take the elevator down, and I'm gonna be approaching the, infamous boss fight that I'm sure you guys know the way she is called. I'm sure you've heard it enough times, because I sure have. It's one of the most technical, probably the most technical fight of this run. So I'm gonna try to do my absolute, very best. I'm gonna take this grace though, because I wouldn't want to be running back if I die. I'm gonna start the fight by applying RKR, buffering it through the cutscene. Then I'm gonna immediately roll to a very specific place and hopefully hit a very precise beam where she takes full damage. That should be all right. 7,700 damage. There we go. Another beam. It should knock her down. Good. Another beam. She starts going backwards. Gave me a bad pattern, which means I have to actually wait a little bit before killing her. Here's the waterfowl attack. You guys know that it's a pain in the butt to dodge, but we did it. Now I'm going to follow up with flames. So she's kind of chilling. I'm going to reapply RKR. I had to also drink FP because I've run out. One more flame, and she's down. Okay, phase 2 starts. Heal up. She opens with an AoE. I apply RKR twice here. This is on purpose for timing, because the second beam is gonna hit specifically between her attacks where she can get staggered. She gets dropped on the ground. I do another beam, and she goes for another AoE, which is good. That's really good RNG. I dodge it, outrun it, apply RKR, and 1, and 2, and I am catalystz and just soloed Malenia.
You can't ask for a better Malenia at GDQ.
That was super
Beautiful.
Very nice. Cool. Very, 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 very cool. So now, finally, that I've killed Malenia, I have a remembrance, and I can get the second component to be able to do the Godskin duo skip, which is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go back to Enya here. I'm gonna retrieve the Hand of Malenia from the remembrance, and we're gonna go back to the Dragon Temple. I'm gonna do a very cool looking skip. You guys are gonna like this one. But first, I need to equip the Hand of Malenia. I also, what you might have seen after I killed Malenia, I reordered my items by weight. This is to put the Devour Scepter right here and the Sword of Night and Flame one input next to each other. It's super important because it's gonna allow me to swap from the Sword of Night and Flame to the Devour Scepter very quickly. I wanna quit out next to this enemy because I don't wanna deal with him. So we quit out to reset him to his default position. I'm gonna do that one more time and get to the edge of the platform here. Now, normally you're supposed to kill the Godskin duo and navigate all the way around to get to this big bridge. However, not only Torrent can fly. As I get back into the game, I'm gonna do an R1. Out of that, I'm gonna use L2, which is gonna buffer it. And now, okay, well that didn't work. 1 second, okay, 1 second. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do an R1, then I'm gonna use the stance, which is, L2. Okay, one more time, 3 times the charm. Then I'm gonna use L2, as I said. That's gonna buffer the stance, and I'm gonna swap out the Sword of Night and Flame for the Devour Scepter. Like this. And now, because the Devour Scepter has an Ash of War, very cool.
Nice.
Because the Devour Scepter has an Ash of War, that allows me to start moving, like you can move during it at the beginning. The Hand of Malenia's skill, Waterfowl Dance, comes out, but it is glitched and I can walk on air for a bit, as you saw. However, because the Waterfowl Dance, as we're gonna see in like 3 seconds, has several phases, I can just extend that walk by spamming L2 with the Waterfowl Dance and get all the way to the other side of the bridge. Now, this skill is so busted that like I'm just gonna use it here to get out of bounds, literally by getting over a railing. And instead of taking the elevator, I'm gonna drop down here. Now, this is a kind of a weird jump that I did there. It was important to do it like that because there's a death plane that I would hit if I just, went on the lower rooftop normally. And we're gonna approach Placidusax, which is one of the more random enemies, one of the more random bosses in this run. And I'm always a little bit nervous, so hopefully it goes all right. I'm gonna re-equip my items. The strat for Placidusax is essentially deal enough damage at the beginning to be able to stagger him, and then kill him during the stagger. But I cannot deal too much damage, or he's gonna start transitioning into a second phase. In order to do that, I'm gonna approach him, cast 1 beam without RKR, and he's gonna start with a guaranteed kind of a storm lightning opener, and I'm gonna try to outrun it, apply RKR, then roll the lightning twice while attacking, and then depending on what attack I get, I might get a stagger or I might not get it, so we'll see. So he opens with the storm, like I said. I get close, first beam. Apply RKR. Roll. Delay the second roll. That's a good attack. I roll behind him, another one for the stagger. I need to replenish my FP now, because I need to do 2 more beams. I reapply RKR. While the dragon's on the ground, I deal extra damage. 1 and 2.
Beautiful.
And that's Placidusax. Whew, that's a pretty big weight that dropped off my shoulder there. But it's not over yet, because right now I'm going to be approaching Malekith. The end game in this run, or in this game in general, is quite a boss rush. So Malekith has basically 2 openers. He's more likely to start running at me, which is really good, because then I can bait an attack, dodge the follow-ups, and on the last hit of the combo, I can beam him in the face, which is really good. The worst scenario is that he doesn't run at me, and then we're going to have to deal with the fight a little bit more. So let's see what happens. Then a phase 2 is going to start, if everything goes all right. And phase 2 will also be kind of quick, hopefully. Apply RKR. Come on, run me, bro. There we go. Bait that out. Get closer. Roll the follow-ups. He does an overheads. Beam in the face. Phase 1 done. Second phase starts. Apply RKR. Go backwards. Roll over this. Slide step to the right. Another R1. And he's dead.
Nice.
Time for some quick donations.
Yeah, go, go, go.
We have $250 from 3 Million Hype,
Hype.
and they say 3 million hype. We also have $500 from Paul that says 5 from me and 5 for 99 others on me. Let's go, 3 million.
Thank you, Paul.
And we're closing in, but we still have a ways to go, so get those donations in, folks.
Absolutely. So after we killed Malekith, basically we kind of unleashed the Destined Death. I don't know. I don't play these games for lore. I think 95% of people don't. They just want to go and smash some big bosses. That basically, as you can see, burned the Erdtree. However, before we can actually get into the Erdtree, we still have some bosses to kill. And also there's the incentive for the ending, which is going to be coming up somewhat shortly. I'll tell you when to end it. And after the boss fight of Godfrey, I'm going to need to know the ending. So that's good to keep track of. And as you can see right now, what I have done is I have equipped the Loretta's Sickle. This is a weapon that I got from Loretta, and it has a pretty good skill, which basically can generate some verticality for me, and that will be very useful for a skip coming up. Funnily enough, One of the people who donated earlier, Sir Gideon, the all-knowing, he's right here in this arena. You can actually see him. He's right there, chilling, okay, ready to throw some books at me. However, it would be really fast to kill him, but he talks so much smack when he dies, it's actually faster to go around and perform a skip to not have to deal with him. So I switched to the mouse and keyboard for this one. I'm gonna be jumping up these slopes. And the sensitivity on this mouse is quite high, so it might take me a couple of tries, but I'm gonna get to the corner of this tree, get up here, and get it first try.
Very nice.
So I basically jump into like some kind of a broken collision and then use the Loretta sickle to get out of bounds on top of this building. Gideon is like right underneath us, but this way we can just run past him. So we're gonna be approaching Godfrey. I'm gonna re-equip my shtick, my stuff. Here is the Sword of Night and Flame. I'm gonna get back the Scimitar, and as much as, you know, I wanna get some fresh air, I need to get back into these clothes. I'm gonna go ahead and do some leveling here. I'm gonna level up 18 Mind. That is important so I can do 2 beams, and then without drinking a potion, I can still summon wolves. And the rest goes into intelligence because, you know, I just outsmarted the all-knowing, so I think I deserve that. Godfrey starts with a cutscene, but starting with the cutscene puts you to the center of the fight, and I don't really want to do that. I want to maintain some distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the fight, skip the cutscene, and then quit out and re-enter it. That way I'm going to be re-entering it like right from the fog gate instead of spawning in the middle. After this fight is also when I am going to need to know the winner of the ending incentive. As I re-enter the fight, I'm going to approach him, apply RKR, and then from a pretty specific place at a pretty specific time, I'm going to do a beam and hope that he opens, that I do it correctly and he opens with an axe throwing attack. Well, I barely hit him, but it could still be fine. Roll it backwards, another beam, reapply RKR, and this one should hopefully end phase 1. There we go. Walk backwards to get out of range of the grab, but attack him soon enough that I deal the damage before he starts transitioning, and as he starts transitioning, he's dead.
Very clean.
Very good. All right, which ending is it gonna be?
All right, one final refresh, and then we'll get that result for you. And it looks like in the lead is gonna be the Frenzied Flame ending.
Okay, let's
All
go.
right.
Best ending for sure.
I like that one a lot, yeah. So for this one, what I need to do is go to the 3 fingers, and there's actually, you're gonna get to see some insane tech, right? That you normally wouldn't see in a run, which is pretty cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna warp back to the Deep Root Depths here, and I'm gonna perform a wrong warp. The wrong warp is actually gonna take me like right past the illusory walls that are next to the 3 fingers. And then I can use our good friend Pegasus to gain enough height and kind of backtrack through the illusory walls to get to the 3 fingers. It's very convenient because, yeah, it's a really quick way to get there. I'm gonna go ahead and do torrent storage right here. And as I do that, we can get some donations read.
Great, sounds good. Well, we have $100 from Janky Manky that says, I can't believe we're so close to 3 million. Come on, let's hit it, Twitch chat.
Let's hit it, guys.
We also have $100 from Hillbilly Maze that says, you do have the right to donate. Let's get that bonus game, GDQ. And the trade is still going. This is amazing. Keep sending in those donations to close that gap so we can see any percent run right after this. We have $50 from Sphere Rebellier that says, 10 tickets for the train. Choo-choo.
Let's go.
Come on, Twitch chat, I believe in you.
All right, so I got enough height there by abusing the geometry, and now I need to get naked in order to get accepted by the 3 fingers. Now, because this is part of the ending, we're gonna go ahead and watch this cutscene, and as that's happening, we can read more donations and get closer to the 3 million.
Awesome, let's keep it going, chat. We have $100 from That's a Nice Hat that says, this $100 is to be spent exclusively on ceramic glue to put Alexander back together. We have $100 from Studio Zevier that says, 3 million hype. We also have $250 from Black Noise that says, here's to another awesome GDQ. Keep those donations coming, and let's help the doctors together.
Ta-da! Let's do it, guys. Let's do it, Twitch chat.
Come on, Twitch chat, only $112,000 away from hitting that. Just keep those donations coming in, and we'll get to see an epic run by Hypersomniac with any % Elden Ring. You do not want to miss it. This run is absolutely incredible.
The marathon has been going on for a week. I know that whenever I watched from home, I was always very sad at the end. And this is a way that you guys can extend the marathon, get one more amazing run in by someone who can actually play the game well, unlike me. And, you know, also obviously donate towards a great cause. Some more donations can be read.
All right, sounds good. Woo! We have an anonymous $20 donation that says, any % run of Elden Ring? Sign me up. Indeed, Anonymous, I would love to see that as well. We have $5 from Jarbochov that says, for ages, before the dawn of man, the $5 train has been a guiding light for Twitch chat. As it is written, as it is told. Chew, chew.
You guys gotta keep it going. There's only 2 bosses left. It's not a lot.
Just a couple minutes left, guys. Get those donations in.
Yep. So I'm gonna be approaching Radagon now, the second to last boss, and there's something cool that I wanna show you. It might mean that I actually will have to redo the fight, but maybe not, we'll see. As I get flashbanged, as if I was rushing B on Dust 2, we're gonna find out that Radagon is actually scripted to start walking towards you. However, if I get right next to him, that's the flashbang, typical matchmaking. And as I get flashbanged, I'm gonna go ahead and run immediately into him and then get out of the cone of his vision. And now, we're chilling. We are just chilling. Look at him go. Look at him headbanging.
I mean, that OST is a banger, so I mean, it's only natural that he's got the...
We listen to that all day. I wouldn't
Got
mind.
the moves, yeah. So now applying RKR is probably gonna wake him up. I'm gonna try to do it in such a way to kind of stay out of range. Okay, he activated. Let's redo that.
The karma.
Yeah.
For disrespecting him.
Well, he doesn't know what's coming.
He's mad because he was vibing, and then you just, you know, you
Yeah.
tried to hit him with a
yeah.
beam.
All right, let's re-enter it again. Another rush to Dust 2 B site. I'm gonna get right next to him. I'm gonna apply RKR first before he finishes walking, like this. Then I'm gonna walk around him. I'm gonna beam once. Yeah, he turns around. Well, that's very cute. I'm gonna go ahead and beam twice, and he's gone. I'm gonna summon the wolves. This is super important. I'm gonna drink FP to have full FP, and then I'm gonna run behind Elden Beast, the final boss of this run. I'm gonna beam to the side, position myself very precisely behind it, behind its leg, and between the wolves. Hopefully 2 wolves will go down. And this way, the Elden Beast AI gets broken. I reapply RKR, 1 more beam, and 1 last beam, and Elden Beast
Full break,
is
let's
dead.
go.
All right, Twitch chat, come on, let's go. We're only $103,000 away. We're so close.
We got the final cutscene, guys. 100K in the final cutscene. So that was Elden Beast. Yeah, basically you can break its AI. Time is gonna be soon, by the way. Yeah, that doesn't feel good. This is what I'm gonna do if we don't hit the 3 million. Time.
GG's.
Well done, Mr. Kata. GG.
Hey, underestimate with all the memes as well. Very cool. So yeah, this is the Frenzied Flame ending. The Elden Beast AI break isn't very well understood, but essentially something about having summons die in a specific way, and you being behind Elden Beast kind of confuses its targeting system, and it can cause an AI break. There are partial and there are full AI breaks. With the Sword of Night and Flame, you deal so much damage that the partial one is enough to actually kill, but this time I got the full one. And this is, yeah, the Frenzied Flame.
That just looks so badass.
Looking like the Eye of Sauron.
Badass. It's the coolest ending for sure.
We should like slow the game speed down to like 10%
Yeah, let me
right
pull
here.
up
Just
the game speed real quick.
pull up that trainer.
Especially now that the timer is paused, so it's fine. Yeah, this game has like, what, 5 endings or something? 6 endings? But some of them are just kind of reskins. They just look a little bit different. But this is a very, very unique one. So you guys, I'm getting flashbanged again. That's very cool. But you guys put your money to the correct one for sure. This is madness.
GG, Kata.
Yeah,
That's it.
great run.
Clean run.
We beat Elden Ring, all remembrances, under 2 hours. There you have it. Before we get off, I have a couple of things to get off my chest. Depends on how long it takes to get to 3 million. I might have a lot of things to get on my chest.
We're gonna hear Kata's whole life story.
So, yeah, when I was a kid, I always dreamed of playing Elden Ring. Back when From Software made Kingsfield, I knew that this game would come out one day for sure. No, for real though, there are some shout-outs that I wanna give. First, I wanna thank my wonderful commentators. It was a pleasure to have you here, guys.
Thank you.
It's been a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to meet you in
Thank you very
person.
much.
Thank you so much, guys. Hypersomniac, who wants to do his run? Hazeblade and Spicee, 3 legends. Thank you so much. There are also other people here in the venue that are from the Elden Ring family. Limcube, Lil Aggie. I would have loved to have you on couch, but there's unfortunately only 3 places. Hopefully next time. Everyone that I've mentioned has contributed tremendously to this game. And even though the game is only a couple months old, as you see, there's so much tech that has been discovered because there's been so many people kind of gathering together and working on it. And if you guys are interested in Elden Ring speedruns, or Dark Souls speedruns for that matter, or Bloodborne speedruns, the website you want to go to is www.speedsouls.com. It's the one-stop shop for speed in the Soulsborne series. It's a community wiki. We have a massive Discord, bigger than 10,000 members at the moment, and we collaborate there on these games. As I said, what you've seen here is a collaborative effort of a lot of community members that just come together and they essentially just share a love for one video game and keep on working on it and keep on improving it. And the collaborative effort of, that goes beyond or behind the scenes, behind like speedrunning is really what matters. And one last thing I want to say is that selfishly, this is, one little dream come true for me. It's been a decade since I discovered speedrunning, thanks to Games Done Quick, as many of us probably have. And 3 years ago, I had the pleasure and the privilege to finally perform here in the US on the grandest stage of them all. And now, 3 years later, I get to be part of the amazing finale and close it off with an amazing game in front of an amazing crowd behind me. It truly is a little dream come true. There's a lot of us here, but you guys bet that I'm just, on cloud 9 right now. I really enjoy performing in front of you guys. One last thing, again, selfishly, if you like Elden Ring speedruns, if you like Dark Souls 1 speedruns, you can follow me on Twitch or YouTube at catalystz. I, do these speedruns often and make videos about them, so you can check that out. And yeah, I think from me, this is pretty much it. I feel like I've talked enough. I need to get myself some water. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again to GDQ for providing me with this opportunity and this privilege to sit here in front of you on the last day of the marathon. And of course, for putting everything together. I think the volunteers, the organizers, the staff, they deserve a round of applause because the work that they put in throughout the week is incredible. As the week goes on and some people are leaving, the work rate that they have to put in, the hours, the sleepless nights, it's all for a great cause, and we are truly grateful to be part of something so special. I think it's really important to kind of realize how special Games Done Quick is. because we've raised so much money for such great causes. And yeah, last thing, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Catalyst. What an incredible run of Elden Ring. And folks, that run may have ended, but I am getting word that we are going to be taking a few minutes to try and still close out that 3 million mark. Do you believe it, Twitch chat audience? All right, this is it. This is the final push. We have $93,000 left to close in order to be able to hit that 3 million. Come on, Twitch chat, let's go. All right, and we do have so many donations coming in. Thank you so much for the support. This is all going to MSF to help people around the world. And so we have $200 from Jimin that says, 40 tickets, please. Hype! We have $100 from Ickety Ackety Oop that says, 3 million, baby, let's go. And wow, we have a $5,000 donation coming in from Uranium Anchor. And they say, Uranium Anchor here, as our first on-site event in 2.5 years comes to a close, I can't help but think how wonderful it's been to see so many speed friends in person again. I forgot who said it originally, but there's a quote from years ago that stuck with me. So I'll repeat it for you here. The nice thing about GDQ is that it's like Thanksgiving. It's over before you know it, but you will be eating leftovers all week, even being on site. There's a lot of amazing runs that I couldn't watch live. So I know there's going to be a lot of delving into the recordings even for me. As we wrap up, my eyes are glued to the donation total to see how high we managed to get. The generosity of this community never ceases to amaze me. Good luck to our Elden Ring runners and to the rest of you. Stay comfy and game on. Wow, with that, we only have $89,000 left to go. Let's go! All right, we have $100 from Cheese that says, let's go, Elden Ring, any percent. We have another $100 from Pie Man. I think I bought too many train tickets. So many donations coming in. Keep them coming. We're so close, Twitch chat. This is it. This is the final push. If we can just continue to keep those donations coming in, we could see another Elden Ring run. Let's go, Twitch chat. $500 from an Eternal Enigma. Give me that 3 million. Yes, let's go. Keep it going. Wow, thank you so much, everybody who's donating. This is amazing. This is all going to MSF. It's such an honor to be here. Sure. All right, but we are just going to take a quick break. We will be right back. All right, folks, we're back, and we are just $66,000 away. Let's go, Twitch chat. Keep those donations coming in. We just have a precious few more minutes until we're going to have to cut off, so keep them coming. We have $500 from Tato My Cat that says, just a little more. Let's go, Twitch chat. Let's go. This is it. This is the final push of the event. All you need to do is send in a donation. $5, $20, whatever you can spare. Keep them coming in. Come on, Twitch chat. An anonymous $50 donation. Twitch chat is truly humbling. One last push. Let's go. $20 from the handsome Costanza that says, shout out to the GDQ Discord. I'm Train Masters to 3 million. Let's go, Twitch chat. Woo! Let's go! Let's go! 49! We have mere minutes! Come on, Twitch chat! Come on! $200 from Dad One Daywalker that says, let's go, chat! Yes! Keep going, 40!
Testing. Hello, everybody! Hello, everybody! Can we please get the runner, Hypersomniac, to the stage, please? Once again, can we please get the runner, Hypersomniac, to the backstage?
Come on! Woo, there he is! Do you want to see Hypersomniac show us something incredible? Just $34,000 to go! We can do this, Twitch chat, just a little bit more. Send it in. Send it all in. $5. Any amount helps. Let's go. Catalyst with all remembrances in under 2 hours. And if we could just cross that threshold of 3 mil, we will see Hypersomniac crush that any percent in 33 minutes. Let's go. Come on, just a little bit more, Twitch chat. Send them in. Send it in. 23. Let's go, Twitch chat. Let's go! Let's go! 13! They're bringing up the chairs. You got this, Twitch chat! He's getting in the chair. Hypersomniac. 9. 8. Come on, we're so close. 7. 6. Let's go! 3. Come on! And we have hit $3 million! Let's go! You did that! You did that! Everybody here did that! Every single dollar going to Doctors Without Borders. Thank you so much. This is incredible! And now we get to see Hypersomniac pop off! This is gonna be epic!
I only have one thing to say. Go! How's that for being in jail?
Incredible. Absolutely incredible here live from Bloomington, Minnesota. Summer Games Done Quick 2022, and we raised over $3 million. We have a special $500 donation from Here Together that says, sometimes the best way to go fast is to go together. I couldn't agree more, Here Together. We have a $1,000 donation from Dr. Bobtastic. And they say, last donation for me. Wish this wouldn't end, and with this, I can delay the inevitable. Indeed, Dr. Bobtastic, both with your generous donations from you and everybody else in Twitch chat, we were able to extend the marathon. Heck yeah. Woo! Absolutely incredible. Yeah, I hear you out there. We have a $250 donation from What on Earth that says, let's go! Let's go. Yes. We have a $250 donation from the Falling Chandelier that says, I've never seen a rally like this. We can do this. Let's go, Twitch chat. Indeed. Absolutely incredible. And just once again, we are so honored to be here at Summer Games Done Quick 2022 to be raising money for Doctors Without Borders. Doctors Without Borders, or MSF, is an international medical humanitarian aid organization providing life-saving medical humanitarian care in over 70 countries around the world. MSF is committed to an independence, impartiality, and neutrality. These principles are what make it possible for MSF to respond rapidly to emergencies and provide life-saving medical care in situations where many other organizations can't or won't. 90% of MSF staff is national, meaning they live locally and are from the country where they work. Thank you so much, Doctors Without Borders, for all of the work you do around the world saving lives. And we are proud here at Summer Games Done Quick to have raised over $3 million for you this week. You hear that, Twitch chat? The audience is saying thank you. We love you, Twitch chat. Thank you so much. All right, we have $50 from Mr. Friendly Guy that says, there once was a website called Twitch where denizens all had an itch. To give bold and brash $3 million in cash for Elden Ring done with the glitch is? Oh well, I tried. Let's go! Twitch chat! We have $100 from Aaron that says, first-time donator, long-time watcher. Elden Ring holds a special place in my heart. Next to the love for this community pulling together for such a great cause. Let's go, Tarnished. Woo! I couldn't agree more, Aaron. It's just this is just so incredible, especially being back live in person here in Bloomington, Minnesota. You could just feel the entire room shaking whenever the audience goes wild. And just a quick heads up, Hypersomniac is still just getting set up here on stage for that run of any % Elden Ring. Are you as excited as I am, audience, to see that? All right, well, hype indeed, because it sounds like Hypersomniac is ready. Take it away.